We can get that re-racked and on the air for you again for those viewers who perhaps have just joined us, because they were extraordinary shots. And before that, even before we actually got that, we saw all of those cars bobbing around in the water. So it's not just Japan that's under a tsunami warning. Watches and warnings have been issued for the entire region. Now that includes Russia, Guam, Taiwan, the Philippines, Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, just among a number of them, but of course we're talking about more than a dozen or so. Back on land, the quake rattled Tokyo residents who are used to these kinds of events, but they know when this is an unusual earthquake, when this is far greater than the ones that they experience on a fairly regular basis. Smoke, we saw that rising from a port building there, and people poured out onto the streets from their office buildings. There's been at least one major aftershock since the original 8.8 quake struck. Okay, just getting word in my ear now from the control room. That earthquake has now been upgraded to an 8.9 quake. So, I mean, this often happens. Initially, we were reporting it was a 7.9, then an 8.8. Now the word is the initial quake was an 8.9. There's been an aftershock in the area of 6.4 magnitude. There have been a number of them, in actual fact. We had Kyung-la on the line when she told us exactly what had happened to her. Let's just have a listen to what she had to say just a short time ago when I spoke with her.
I'm actually in a subway, and just a few minutes ago, we experienced, somewhere, the epicenter clearly was offshore. This is not a direct hit on the island of Honshu, which is the island that Tokyo is on. But we felt a very significant earthquake. Everything was shaking. The signs were moving. People became very alarmed. And there was a similar earthquake, but not quite as strong as this, just a couple of days ago. So what we see now is that the warning alerts are on, many of the lights are off, trains have been stopped, and people are just basically waiting here, waiting to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah, and of course we're getting word it was a 7.9 quake. That's a big quake that hit. And as you mentioned, I mean, you and I were talking a couple of days ago when that other one hit, and one remark you made, which was very important, I thought, I took note of that, was that you said the quake lasted, or it felt like it lasted, for about 3 minutes.
Similar today that we're feeling. I would actually
All
say...
right, I was talking, that was Kyung-la, I was talking to her a short time ago. Of course, since that discussion, that earthquake has now been upgraded to an 8.9. Now, I want you to look at these pictures. Unbelievable. Look at that debris, the mud. This is a tsunami in the... We are watching it unfold before our very eyes. A tsunami of mud and debris and water rushing across the land there in Tokyo. Just extraordinary, these live pictures as we bring them to you. And of course, I wonder if our Ivan Cabrera is there standing by his back. Yes, Ivan, can you see these pictures? Unbelievable. This is mud and debris. We can see cars in there. We see buildings.
That is incredible, and as what you would expect with an 8.9 here, they can these waves can travel for several kilometers well inland. The topography there and the shoreline also very important when we talk about tsunamis here. The shallower we're talking, the worse it's going to be, the higher the wave heights are going to be. We are now upgraded to an 8.9. That is a great earthquake here. Again, this is on par with the 2004 Banda Aceh that generated that major tsunami. Here's what I want to do, if you'll allow me. The tsunami warning is still in effect for Japan, Russia, Northern Marianas. Guam has now been added as well, and Taiwan. Those are now in tsunami warning mode. Taiwan was upgraded as well. We have wave heights reported of 3.5 feet. That's a meter. Again, that's just offshore here. So what happens as that wave continues to build, you run out of ground here, and because of the